Let's move on to Jaguars, Bengals. Jaguars, Bengals. This total, Bebsy, is skyrocketed up. Opened at Bet365 at 44.5. It's 49 there now. It's 49.5 at some books. Cincinnati opens up at -3. The a leading indicator offshore book has already moved it to 3.5. Minshew and the Jags looked awful in that loss at home to the Dolphins on Thursday night. I was on them, made me look like a clown. Minshew completed 30 of 42 passes for 275 yards, 2 turnovers. Conley dropped 2 passes that would have been first downs. He looked bad. Cam Robinson, whom they need, got ejected, and I don't think he should have been ejected. I think it was just
that was soft.
It was bad. It was a referee who gets pushed around by his wife and took it out on Cam Robinson.
You can take that to the bank.
It was absolute bullshit, but it's another point. C.J. Henderson looked bad, and I know he's going to have missteps as a young cornerback, but he looked bad. And they lose Leon Jacobs for the season. Everything went wrong. Not everything. A lot went wrong. James Robinson looked good. Injury-wise, they lose safety Andrew Wingard. We just talked about Leon Jacobs. And DJ Shark didn't play. He's expected to play this week. Let's move over to the Bengals. And the question is, it's always going to come back to the Eagles. Seems so often. How good or bad are the Eagles? Burrow tosses a pair of touchdown passes to Higgins, 23-23 tie with the Eagles on Sunday. He goes 31-44 for 312 yards. He got sacked 8 times. You know, he's been pretty impressive. Pretty impressive under that kind of heat. I mean, Mixon couldn't run. 17 runs for 49 yards. Tyler Boyd caught 10 passes for 129 yards. And all of a sudden, John Ross is a healthy scratch, which is wild. And Geno Atkins still out with the shoulder injury. They desperately need him back. Jaguars, Bengals, Bebsy, take it away.
I'm kind of lockstep with Dennis Garcia here. If there was a play, it was the points, and it's gone. And also, I can't bet on Burrows until he wins a game. It's just this again is just another ugly game for me that I'm not interested in at all. I was off the Jags last week because they were favored. Now they're back into being the underdog, but I still just don't like it. There's nothing that jumps out to me for this game, especially with the point total going up so fast. But again, it's a no play for me. Maybe CJ Henderson bounced back. Maybe people learned how to get to him. I don't know. These are 2 teams I don't know a ton about yet. I do know. I do know that they're not good football teams, but they're 2 not good football teams. And this is a really hard week. There's not a lot of spots I love that I outright like, and this definitely isn't one of them.
Yeah. Do you think, though, that there's a bias in play right now with the Jaguars? Everything went wrong for them. Everything went wrong. They get killed on the Thursday nighter with everyone watching. And now they're soon going to be 3.5-point dogs to a Bengals team that doesn't know how to win.
Yeah, and again, I like the Jags when they're the underdog. It feels like that's where Minshew wants to play from. He wants to play when they're not getting respected. And they don't have any pressure on them. Like I've said this a few times, this is a team that's expected to be terrible. So any wins they get are a bonus. So that's a dangerous team. Like you always fear the guy who's got nothing to lose, and that's Minshew right now. On the other side of the ball, though, Burrow has played well despite getting knocked around. Is he going to be the next Andrew Luck? A guy who's incredible, yet has a garbage team with no O-line that just gets him beat up. He's been sacked 8 times already. He's going to get killed. It's just another ugly game I'm just not interested in. And this is a very, very tough week with not a lot of obvious plays. Obviously, I'm going to stay glued to it as the week goes, but I was looking at this line when it came out, and there was very, very few that jumped out at me.
It just feels like I'd love to hear what Birdie has to say about this. It just feels like a spot where there's a bias going on about what the Jaguars did on Thursday night, and now they've had extra time to prepare.
Overtee's asking, what does Burrow have to lose? Just the pressure of being the number 1 overall pick. Gardner Minshew was not expected to be a starter at all. So he doesn't – he's got – and they were already talking about tanking for Trevor. Like, that guy basically is a temp. So he has nothing to lose. Burrow has the pressure of being that number 1 overall draft pick. You talk to those guys or you listen to them in interviews. I've never talked to them personally. But that stress, that added stress of being the number 1 overall pick is some guys overcome it, some guys don't. So that's what he has to lose, looking bad as the number 1.
I think that was a great answer. There's one offshore that's been hanging the 3.5. They've been hanging the 3.5 since the opening line, and that's going to go away. That plus 3.5 opened at minus 105 for them. Now it's at minus 122. It did get up to minus 124 twice. I'd love to get a 3.5 here. North Ender likes the Jags under. No. Bologna sandwich. Bologna sandwich. No, the Bengals are the home squad here. North Ender liking the under in this spot. Cincinnati's defense kind of bent but didn't break against the Eagles. What do you think of this under now that it's all the way up to 49.5? Now, I made this mistake with the Titans-Vikings. That was one of my losses on the season, thinking that went too high. And I should have known when Eric Swiatek gave his score projection. I should have just stayed off of it. But what do you think of this total at 49?
I think it's worthwhile if it keeps going up, but I don't think it's enticing enough. I know. I think it's worth watching. If it keeps going up, like by the end of the week, maybe the under's a play. I would say not right now. But yeah, Sean Dozer said it when you said the Bengals defense bent but didn't break. Yeah, they're playing the Eagles. The Eagles are bad, and Wentz is clearly second guessing himself. He is just playing bad football right now.
I want the Jags, but I don't want to be sitting here with a play on every game. I'm not going to pull the trigger at this point. We will do a review, and maybe a trigger is pulled during the show.